I've talked a lot in the last years now about the prevalence of crypto scammers. Ever since crypto went from being that thing that a very weird slice of the internet engaged in, and the occasional creator got canceled for doing a rug pullover, I didn't care all that much, but once it started to be everywhere, advertised in every comment section, just thrown in your face constantly, every other creator seeming to start their own cryptocurrency or crypto rug pull or crypto scam, I felt sort of compelled to talk about it and discuss what it tells us about broader internet culture. And I know the internet culture isn't real life, and we talk politics here because of its bearing on our real lives, but the internet has had a massive impact on politics and on everything that's kind of cascaded out of that, meaning real life, right? So if really bad behaviors are becoming more prevalent online, that should worry us. It should be a warning of what things are going to be like in our real lives soon, you know? These behaviors tend to become normalized online, and scammers exist in the real world, but it makes you wonder, like, are we not culturally normalizing being a bit of a huckster, a scammer, the kind of person who fucks someone else over to make a little money? You know, I see people even celebrating crypto scammers, being like, yeah, you know what? If you fall for a crypto scam, it's your fault. You're stupid. It's like, really? Is that the logic we're using for crypto scammers now? And what worries me about that mindset is how much worse the problem has been getting, especially as of late. Now, I have a video here that talks about this, and I know many of you guys might have a few hang-ups about the YouTuber Pyrocynical. He's had his fair share of dramas in the past, but from what I understand, he's not terrible. And I watched a bit of this video earlier, and it seemed pretty solid for discussing the main brunt of this topic, and I had a lot I wanted to say to you guys about it, so I decided we're going to talk about it. The video's called Wendigoon's Situation is Sad. Wendigoon is a horror YouTuber. He's a host of one of my favorite podcasts called Creepcast, very fun podcast, and he's just generally a pretty chill guy. I'm sure he's a bit conservative and right-wing, but he's not an asshole about it. He's not, like, judgmental or hateful or anything. He seems to be a genuinely nice, loving guy. And so the fact that what happened to him happened is, you know, it couldn't have happened to a worse person. Or not a worse person. There couldn't be a worse person for it to happen to. You know, he didn't deserve it. But this is a rising issue. It's not just, you know, this is not like this is the first time it's happened, but it is a continuously escalating problem. And now the targets of these scammers are getting to be much, much larger figures than before.
Here's a video of me. Here's the details on the paper.
I thought the WEN was related to my name. But yeah, that video was real. It was the verification thing I said. And apologized to him for believing him to be a scammer. That's how hook, line, and sinker he had me.
The way the camera is set up in this video, I look like I'm about 4 feet tall, and I'm about to talk about how I got my first 500-meter swimming medal. I've been trying to mess with this camera for the best part of 30 minutes, and I can't
specific.
do it. But anyways, now if you've seen from the title of the video, the Wendigoon situation is crazy, insane, sad, whatever buzzword I put in there. But recently, Wendigoon was actually hacked as part of a crypto rug pulling scheme. Now, usually when a YouTuber gets hacked, you know, their account gets hijacked, it promotes some coin, or like Elon Musk for some reason, and then it goes back to normal, no one cares, everyone moves on. But the reason why I'm talking about this with Wendigoon is because the extent that these people went to actually promote the coin, at one point even using like what seems to be AI deepfakes to try to pretend to be Wendigoon to back up like the legitimacy of their hack.
Here's a video of me.
So, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Oh, I love that it literally perfectly landed me on this frame, the frame I was looking for. How many times have you seen this? Like, you go to your YouTube homepage, you sit down to watch some YouTube, right? And all of a sudden, there is a YouTube channel, verified YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, doing a live stream about some Elon Musk Tesla-related thing, and more often than not, it has some mention of an Elon Musk-backed or created cryptocurrency. And it looks super legit, because the channel will be called, like, you know, Tesla or Elon Musk or Tesla Official, and it has the check mark, but in reality, it's a big YouTube channel that you are already subscribed to that got hacked and transformed by said hackers into a scam account meant to attract dumb, vulnerable people who trust Elon and won't think twice if they see something that looks legit and backed by him, and they'll fall for it. They'll dump money into some nonsense crypto. I don't know how many of them are bots, but take a look. 51,000, 61,000 watching on just these two crypto scam Tesla live streams. And they're usually playing a loop of Elon Musk actually doing a presentation. So a lot of these people might be real people who have no clue that actually think this is real. My first reaction is, why am I subbed to Tesla? I fucking hate them. Then I realized that it was a channel I watch and it has been hacked. Yeah, usually it gets fixed up, but like, my understanding of how this tends to happen is that YouTubers will be scrolling through their email. They'll be checking the email that is attached to their YouTube, and they'll get a high-priority email that looks like it's from YouTube, usually saying someone has attempted to log into their account or something like that. And if they click it, I think it's just got a link that auto-fishes or something, and just instantly grabs your cookies and all your info. Maybe it drops like I don't know exactly how it works. My understanding is you don't want to click the sketchy emails. You want to be really careful when it comes to opening certain emails, because supposedly that's how they get you.
For some reason, and then it goes back to normal. No one cares. Everyone moves on. But the reason why I'm talking about this with Wendigoon is because the extent that these people went to actually promote the coin, at one point even using like what seems to be AI deepfakes to try to pretend to be Wendigoon to back up like the legitimacy of their hack.
Here's a video of me, my face.
Brave statement incoming. Everyone hates Twitter. One thing that people hate even more than Twitter is Twitter bots. And when Elon bought the site back in 2024, one of the things he promised was to clean up the bots. Unfortunately, he's too busy being trolled while live streaming to actually sort that out.
We talked about that.
So the bot problem never really went away. And obviously, if you've got bots
failed
shilling
to
crypto
stream.
or like some other thing to buy, like, I don't know, one of those lava lamps or something. Have you seen those tweets, by the way, that tend to juice and blow up, and then the guy below it absolutely ruins all of the funny by linking like 5 paid products, and each one he linked he was probably paid $5 for? Now imagine the power those kind of gimmicks.
Or how often you'll finally find a relatively entertaining video like on Twitter, and you find out, whether through a community note or just looking at it for a second, it's got a big gambling like stake advertisement stamped on it. And it's just like a shit post that's been made into a gambling website ad and reposted probably all over social media for that exact purpose. That has been really annoying, dude. I can't get that shit off my feeds.
Accounts could have if they actually got access to a YouTuber's account. So on the 26th of May, there was a series of tweets that were posted to Wendigoon's Twitter account. And it was pretty fair to say that it was quite out of character for him to be making these tweets. Now, if you don't know who Wendigoon is, he does incredibly lengthy video essays where he dives deep into topics, whether this be conspiracy theories, something fictional. He also did Petscop before me. Anyways, we won't really talk about that one.
Ooh.
I like how I adjusted the camera and I just
That's
look
his
even
thing.
smaller now. Like what is happening? Am I shrinking? Like, what is happening? Now, one of the first tweets that Wendigoon put out when his account was compromised was a picture of Wendigoon's own face with the caption, "This is not a drill. My official meme coin, Wen, is now live. Thank you to my team for helping me set this up," with a link to the website that the coin was.
Like, obviously, if you're smart, you wouldn't fall for this, right? Like, I wouldn't fall for this, obviously. But there's some people that might see, like, have heard about this whole crypto thing. They haven't followed it enough to know whether it's a scam or not. But they know a lot of people have made a lot of money off of crypto. And they see someone they know to be a really trustworthy, likable YouTuber who's, very, lives by the Christian ideal. Is very, kind and charitable and, just a chill guy, right? The kind of person with a brand that they would never sully, very careful with their brand as well. It seems like a trustworthy offer if you don't think about how this could easily be someone just hacking the account and using Wendigoon's credibility to scam people and drop people's guards for the purpose of scamming people.
Meme coin, Wen, is now live. Thank you to my team for helping me set this up, with a link to the website that the coin was actually being hosted on. Now, some people thought at this point Wendigoon just sold out. He lost all credibility because he ended up like shilling a meme coin. But it doesn't take a genius that if a YouTuber that isn't Jake or Logan Paul suddenly turns around out of nowhere and starts shilling a meme coin, chances are they've probably been hacked. I mean, the account link actually went to the website Pumped Up Fun, and I think at the time of recording, Pumped Up Fun has actually been blocked in some countries, like for example the UK.
I have heard this website mentioned by CoffeeZilla no less than 5 times. It is maybe the rug pull site. It is the site for creating rug pull scam cryptos. Like, it comes up all the time in those documentaries about crypto rug pull scams. Pump.fun, all the time.
I will say that on Pump.fun, the one coin that seemed funny to buy was that little green bird fella. The only coin that I like that I've invested $100,000 into is this coin. Now, again, this happens a lot. Accounts get compromised. People start shilling meme coins. But the next clip was really, really scary.
Here's a video of me, my face. Here's the details on the paper, backwards. Favorite face.
Now, even though I did think that that segment of the video with Wendigoon was AI, they somehow got some really good deepfake technology. Like, believe me, I was looking around the head to see any kind of blurred lines or anything. It is real. He did actually film that video, but the context there is really important, which I will get into later. Now, the vast majority at this point did assume Wendigoon was hacked, but they weren't really sure of the specifics of what actually went down and what led to the hack. Now, a lot of people in Wendigoon's circle were quick to tweet out about the hack, like, for example, Meat Canyon. He actually runs a podcast with Wendigoon called Creepcast, basically putting out a tweet saying, Isaiah texted me, he's definitely hacked, ignore this stupid shit. And then also following up by saying Isaiah's working on it, he's not home right now, but we're trying to take care of it. Don't be stupid and buy crypto. And then also another tweet saying,
yes, this is Meat Canyon, or not Meat Canyon, Wendigoon's wife.
working on it, he's not home right now, but we're trying to take care of it. Don't be stupid and buy crypto. And then also another tweet saying, can't wait for my panic tweets to be the YouTube drama video this week. That was from Wendigoon's wife. Unfortunately, I do want to say your panic tweets
there we
are
go.
the
We
drama
clarify.
YouTube video this week. Now, it's really obvious why it was hacked. They were hoping that this tweet would have basically verified that it is him. People would have bought into coin, and the people that hijacked his account would have just done a rug pull. They would have waited for the coin to at least go up 10 times in value, hopefully from like loyal fans thinking they're supporting their favorite creator, and then immediately Aladdin carpet rug pull. So I was a bit confused by this. I don't really use Twitter that much anymore, so I reached out to
For those who don't know how these work, by the way, the way these rug pulls tend to operate, whether it be someone hacking a social media figure's profiles and using their credibility to drop people's guard and get them on board with the scam, or just getting a creator to sell out and shill a cryptocurrency, here's how it almost always goes. You've got some small, like, Illuminati circle of people in a Discord somewhere, and they come up with an idea for a trendy sounding shitcoin or meme coin, whatever term you have for like a nonsense, never meant to go anywhere, meant to be forgotten in 2 weeks cryptocurrency, right? A cryptocurrency with no future that's just meant to be funny. For a while, it was like a meme to buy crypto, like 10, 100, however much money that was just funny to throw away, I guess, into some nonsense crypto, like shitcoin or nonsense joke cryptocurrency. And the way that these people would usually put these together was as a small group of insiders that would like make the crypto coin, and they would name it after something usually really relevant and topical, because the crypto scam isn't supposed to last any longer than like a week or two, right? So they find a really relevant meme. Think like Hawk Tuah when that was at its peak or something like that. And it can be as nonsensical as it needs to be. As long as it mentions something relevant, people will be paying attention to it, and that's all that matters. At that point, they get a public figure to buy in on the cryptocurrency. Now, they already own the majority of like shares in said cryptocurrency, but then they'll get some public figure to shill that cryptocurrency to their audience, and they'll even offer some ownership of some crypto on the side as well as a payout, right? Or even just pay them entirely in that crypto. And so it's up to that YouTuber or Twitter poster or Twitch streamer or celebrity or music artist, whatever it may be, to push that crypto enough that it's actually worth something, because they have some slice of the pie, and that slice is more valuable based on how many people fall for the scam. And so people start buying in at that point, and eventually it hits a spike, it starts to plateau out, and the people who created the crypto sell. Probably after that, the person who was tricked into selling out to promote this crypto will sell as well, and all the people who bought in that helped to raise the cryptocurrency's value, well, massive shareholders of that crypto just sold, right? Like, they just sold out and took the money and ran. So the crypto is going to take an immediate dump in value. People are going to start panic selling, and everyone else who is left holding the bag is going to be holding an empty bag, to say the least. And that is 99% of the time how most of these crypto rug pulls work. And more or less they're trying to get people to buy into this $ Wen coin, this Wendigoon coin, and once it's hit its plateau after a big spike, they plan to sell and to leave everybody else high and dry. You know, maybe there'll be a few winners that come out of it that weren't on that little inside circle, but the only real winners, guaranteed, will be the people who started the crypto.
Wendigoon on Instagram and basically said to him, hey, hope you're doing all right. Do you need like any kind of help getting back into your account? Because as you guys know, I got Twitter back a couple of years ago after being suspended for like 6 years, which was, looking back on it, a massive, huge mistake. And then I basically also asked him for permission to actually, you know, talk about the topic because I didn't want to cover this and then bring more attention to it if he wanted to not really have it talked about that much, but he gave me full consent. And he actually even at one point recorded an entire video breaking down step by step what actually happened and how he got in this situation in the first place.
I was recording a video a couple days ago, and I also had family in Memorial Day here in the United States. So I was kind of rushed between doing the video and trying to spend time with them, and everything was really hectic. And then I get a call from a phone number that's a 201 area code, and it's not an ID, just a location. Calls a couple times, and after like the third time, I'm like, well, maybe this is something important or someone who knows me. Normally, I just ignore random phone calls. So I answer it, and it's someone who says, hello, we're with X moderation team, or with X content team or policy team, whatever. What, like X? What are you talking about? And then the guy laughs, and he's like, sorry, Twitter, we're rebranding.
Now, these confidence scams.
The fact they got his phone number is what's really fucked, you know? Like, they knew it was him, his account, and his phone number. Like, from what I've heard, that is one of the worst things you can have leaked if you're worried about online security, is your phone number. How they even got it in the first place, I don't know, but that's a big problem, because that's how this started, but that might not be the end of problems like this that Wendigoon ends up having if these types of people have his number.
Are really, really common. Usually you'll get someone that gets your number or spoofs it, and then they basically try to pretend that they're working for a certain company. The first red flag I thought in this situation is, why would Twitter ever spend a minute of their day trying to actually call someone to try to let them know that they could be in some kind of danger? Because Twitter is probably one of the most lax companies imaginable. Lax in the sense of they realize that their site is a cesspit and they just think, no, we'll just let them all kill each other. We don't really care. Now, also, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that Wendigoon was stupid or he should have been more vigilant in this situation. The problem is, if you're a target of scams, you only have to have a lapse in judgment. Sound like Logan Paul doing the apology video there.
I've made a severe lapse in my judgment.
You only have to basically lapse one time, and that's it. Like all the other times where people have tried to get into your account or, you know, like compromise you, it's basically null because that one time you basically slipped up on.
Important thing to know,
That's a lot of,
guy spoke perfect.
That's a lot of things in life, and particularly content creation. It only takes one fuck up, and like you can like lose your account to hackers or any number of things.
English seemed very casual over the phone call. I've had scam callers before. He did not sound like any one of them. He's part of the moderation team, and I am a verified user or priority user or whatever. So they were calling to inform me that there were a
little bit of a humble brag
of attempts to get into my account from Colorado. They said that there were 5 in a row through a cookie thing, like a cookie hack or cookie entry or whatever. And I was suspicious, and I said, okay, so what do you want me to do? And he said, we're going to send you an email with, we're going to open a complaint number. So if you want to read the complaint number back to me to verify that it's you, that'd be great. And I said, okay, well, how do I know that you're not a scammer? And he was like, you think I'm a scammer? And I'm like, yeah, how do I verify that this isn't a scam thing I'm talking to? And he's like, well, it's really good that you're aware of these kind of things, but we're sending an email right now for confirmation. And the email he sent was from twitter.com. It was like support-twitter.com. And then there's a link. And
you can spoof links. If you don't know this, just knowing a website's URL and looking at a link and being like, ah, yeah, I can trust this because it's a link I recognize. No, you can't. Spoofing links is very much a thing you can do, where you can make a link look like it goes somewhere if you read the URL, but it actually routes to somewhere else entirely. It could route to an instant download page, where like it considers that you hitting the download now button and takes you to a page that instantly downloads something. And if it's set right, I think it could instantly run it too. Like it's some scary stuff. You can spoof email senders too. That I didn't know. I assumed it was possible, frankly, because that's how I imagine they're getting a lot of people. Like somehow they're making it look like it's a legit email from like YouTube or Twitter or whatever. But yeah, you got to be careful. You know, these things have gotten more complex. You know, back in the day, a link was a link, right? It went to what it said it went to. Not anymore, though. You got to be careful. Don't click any links from people you don't know.
When you click on the link, it takes you to an overlay that says like twitter.com or whatever, and it shows the X screen. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. I know Twitter's rebranding to X, but I guess all their old stuff was Twitter, so I type it in. online, and Google's like, yeah, twitter.com support dash Twitter is all legit. And I guess it was legit like 2 years ago, but now that it's become X, I guess all those domains are gone, so they've been bought up by these scammers.
This again just shows the massive
Dude, of course. How a million problems have been caused by Elon buying Twitter, but who would have predicted, and I'm sure this has been a widespread issue as well, is that Elon dropping all those domains means that domains that have for 10 plus years been the correct place to go and the like trustworthy place to interact with if you have a problem with your Twitter account, just without any real announcement of that fact, has been dropped. Now scammers have bought up these domains or are spoofing them, and obviously Twitter's going to do nothing about it. If you think Twitter has any plans to do anything about this, then you are a far more optimistic person than me, and I envy you for that optimism.
the stroke genius of Elon Musk and the entire Twitter team. They rebranded to X because Elon Musk was so obsessed with creating this everything app that you could use for any facet of your day. And then they didn't even keep the domain for the old email on Twitter. So hackers have been able to basically take it and pretend to be Twitter to hopefully try and get into your account.
He's like, can you read back the number on the ticket we sent you? So I read him the number back and he's like, that number's actually not right. Here, let me talk to my manager. So he like puts me on hold for a minute, and then he comes back later and he's like, okay, my manager said just to send another one. So he sends another one, and again, he's like, the numbers aren't correct. And he was like, okay, we can verify this another way. And he was like, we're going to send you another email. Once again, the email's from like support-Twitter or whatever. He says, okay, we've sent you this other one. If you could click on the link, and all of the link, I have done a lot of like stuff with Twitter before, where you have like the black, or since it's been X, you have the black screen with like the logo at the top of the page. It looked like any other screen I would log on to on X. And also whenever I signed up for premium, or like the blue check mark on Twitter or X, whatever, they had me send in pictures of myself. They had, you know, like whenever you sign up, it's like send a picture or whatever. So I'm going through the stuff and I'm on the phone with him and I say, hey, what's it asking me to do? What's all this? And he's like, well, remember when you signed up to get your check mark, you had to do a picture. We're just taking extra steps to verify. You have to write down your name, the date, and the code we're sending you.
So you can probably tell what this led to next, the infamous video with him.
I will say, I was thinking maybe Wendigoon was just a little particularly naive when it comes to how far people go to try and fuck him over. But no, this is actually a pretty clever scam they pulled, you know? Apparently if you get verified on Twitter, you have to send a picture of yourself already to the Twitter modification or moderation team. Like, that is a thing you have to do. So the idea that this quote-unquote account recovery team would ask him to post an image of himself holding up a card with his face, like it's some prove you're the real you thing on 4chan or something back in the early 2000s, or prove you're a girl on 4chan back in the early 2000s, that classic meme, then it kind of makes sense. You know, very unprofessional for Twitter to operate this way, but what do you expect under Elon? But like, it kind of makes sense that you would fall for this thinking, yeah, this seems like it's part of the new policy, I guess. It seems like this is how they do things now.
Him holding up the notepad and basically saying, yep, guys, this is me. So they got this clip of him to try and verify that it was his identity, and they have taken it completely out of context to try and shill their coin. And that for me is like really, really scary, because honestly, my brain is so cooked. When I saw that original video of Wendigoon holding up the notepad, you know, with the date and the name and the codes to promote the coin, I genuinely thought it was AI, because I'm pretty sure you've all seen that VEO, that Google AI, the third version, and how realistic some of that stuff can be. I genuinely thought someone got like a mask of his face and then actually used that to, you know, create almost this mesh on someone to make it look like it was Wendigoon, when actually it wasn't. But in reality, it was actually him. He was just tricked into doing it to verify his identity.
He sends me the code, which is $WEN, and I thought it's a randomly generated code. I thought the WEN was related to my name. In hindsight, it's incredibly stupid because that's so clearly a crypto thing, but I wasn't even thinking that because I thought that this was like 3 levels of verified or safe or whatever.
For those that don't know, most cryptocurrencies tend to be sort of shorthanded into a $sign followed by a 3-letter acronym. And in this case, the cryptocurrency is $WEN for Wendigoon coin, or whatever it was. I don't know the name of the cryptocurrency, nor do I even want to say the real name of the cryptocurrency, because I don't want to promote it on accident, you know?
So I write it down and I record a short little video where I'm holding it up and saying like, yes, this is me. And then I take that video I just did and send it back through the portal they sent me for verification. And then a blue ring spins and it's like being verified. And then once it gets verified safe that I am the correct user, he's like, okay, we couldn't talk about what the issue with your account was before, but we can talk about it now. So now that I'm verified as the actual owner. So he spends like 15 minutes with me on the phone explaining how like, well, it seems like you logged into a device on perhaps a computer or a friend's laptop, and the cookie from that was used to gather your data through this means. So then that data got passed on to data brokers, and he talked to me for like 10-15 minutes about how to be safe online. At the end of the call, I thanked the guy and apologized to him for believing him to be a scammer. That's how hook, line, and sinker he had me. I get done with the phone call, record some of the video, and then I'm out on a trip with my parents, and then I get like 12 emails in a row that are like, your X password has been reset, requesting X, or like a password request sent, forgot my password request sent, over and over. And then it says like, you have timed out X's password system. So then sure enough, I open Twitter and I'm logged out of the account. When I try to request a new password, it says too many attempts, you can't do it. So I had to wait 24 hours to change the password. So quickly, the account put up a crypto scam right away, the hackers who got a hold of my account. So I told Hunter, my buddy who has like a following on the platform, I asked if he could tweet that this is a scam. And he did. Thank you, Hunter. And then my wife also tweeted that it was a scam. And pretty quickly, I think because enough people reported it, the entire account got like locked. And the reason I say that is because initially when they took a hold of the account, it had become like a
Mind you, Twitter and many social media websites operate under a pressure-based moderation system where if you're just some guy with like 5 followers out there and you are most like blatantly breaking a website's TOS, chances are, no matter how aggressive that website is, you're probably not going to get got because there isn't a lot of like pressure on the platform to pursue moderation against you. It could take years for the bot algorithm to like find what you posted and get you for it, right? But if you're like a multi-million follower figure really blatantly breaking a website's TOS every day on their platform, and you've got a lot of people demanding action be taken, you've got people constantly reporting it, it's very likely that someone's going to take action. And so at least in this case, as many L's as Twitter under Elon tends to take, there was enough public support around the idea of stopping this account from being used to scam fans of Wendigoon that Twitter actually did something. Or sorry, X, as they call it now.
A link to their crypto project, and my
Her name
entire
is
bio
X.
got removed. But after I guess a bunch of people reported it and the tweet with the scam went down, my bio went back to how it was. So I guess Twitter locked everyone out of the account and reapplied my old bio, which I didn't even know they could do. That's interesting because I highly doubt that the people who hacked into it took the time to type out all of the stuff in my bio. So it seems that Twitter reverted it and locked everyone out. And now I was able to change the password back, thankfully, but I have to, oh yeah, that's another thing. Not only did they spam the password reset thing so that I couldn't do it, they also, as soon as they were logged in, the thing you can do on Twitter where you can have an authenticator app set up, I've never done that before. Any YouTuber out there should do that.
Obviously, app authenticators are really, really important. You can either get like one on your phone from Google. It's basically a code that changes, I think, every 30 seconds or so, or you can get like a USB key that's like a single copy that can't really be replicated. You'll stick it into a computer. That stuff is really important because passwords, they're useless. Passwords are useless. Every single password will eventually be leaked at some point. You always need to look at it like that.
Because since I didn't have one set up, as soon as they logged in, they added the authenticator app from their phone. So now, even though I've changed the password and even though no one can get it, I still can't get into the account because it's connected to an authenticator app from the hacker's device. So yeah, they had me like 6 ways to Sunday.
And this is the worst thing about the situation. Like, Wendigoon did not have an authenticator app, only a password and a phone number, which are pretty easy to spoof. And the hacker has actually then set up his own authenticator app. So because the hacker has used more security, he takes priority over Wendigoon getting access to his own Twitter account that he made, by the way.
The video that I took of me holding up.
This is really common. If you have a social media account that really matters to you, that you never ever want to lose, or you never want to ever have to go through the account recovery process in the future, it is vital that any security options that a website provides to you, you use. Even if you don't like two-factor authentication via phone number or using an authenticator app, do it anyway, because God forbid if a hacker ever gets access to your account and then hooks up your account to their authenticator, like what happened to him, you're in even deeper shit, because he's right. The fact that they took the step to secure your account against you further than you secured your account against them, does not play well for you. It makes it way harder to get your account back and even to verify that you're really you, so that moderation teams will even want to help you get your account.
The $WEN and the date that I thought was for verification of my account, they posted, because of course the crypto thing was $WEN or whatever. My wife, who felt bad that day and was staying home when me and my family went on our little excursion. My wife assumed that I would not be stupid enough to fall into a whole crypto thing. So she tweeted that the video was AI because she loves me. I thought there was no way I would be dumb enough to write all that down and do what I did, when in fact I was dumb enough. She said it was AI, fully believing it was AI, even though it was not. It was a video of me. She assumed the best of me when she shouldn't have. So yeah, she didn't lie or anything. She just thought better of me than I deserved.
So Wendigoon, funnily enough, explained where most of the people thought that it was AI from. I'll be honest, I never actually saw his wife's tweet saying it was AI. I just assumed it to be AI because obviously it's like, why would a YouTuber suddenly do a 180 and do, you know, a rug pull, like a crypto coin? And why would a YouTuber, like, how could you trick a YouTuber into doing it unknowingly? Like, it's obviously the coin, but obviously as he's explained through the video, they've taken some really elaborate steps to slowly build up that confidence, build up that trust, and then just completely turn it against him for profit.
Yeah, that video was real. It was the verification thing I said. The reason I look so crazy with, I can't remember if I'm wearing the hat, but I'm wearing like a chest rig and gloves and stuff, is because I was shooting a video for Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is so stupid. And was like dressed up in like tactical gear or whatever. And that was the
Damn, following in the footsteps of FPS Russia. So proud. For those that don't know, FPS Russia back in the day was in a lot of the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 commercials, because he was like this big, famous gun YouTuber way back when I was in like middle school, you know? Ah, good times. Now it's Wendigoon making cameos in Call of Duty commercials. Hot damn. Huh? Yeah. FPS Russia was like the gun channel back in the day.
Recording I quit midway through to go through this whole thing with the Twitter hacker. So that's why I looked like that. It was not AI. It was just me being stupid. The account was hacked. I still can't get back into it, even though I have been able to change the password. So at least thankfully it seems no one can get into it, and I'm working on that.
Well,
yeah, I fully acknowledge.
On the bright side, it's Twitter, and not much of value was lost if we're talking access to Twitter here. I'm really curious to see what the comments section looks like on this one. At first I thought, no way Wendigoon did something shady, then it was someone actually went out of their way to drag Wendigoon, of all people, into something shady and everyone noticed, and that makes more sense. Wendigoon living in the I dared my best friend to ruin my life creepypasta. Oh no! Okay, that is a deep cut right there, okay? That right there is a deep cut. Anyone who watches Creepcast and has seen their I dared my best friend to ruin my life narration and how much they made fun of the writer for talking about securing your accounts and your identity. Kind of funny now, huh? Kind of funny now. They gave that author so much shit. I gotta go back and watch that episode now after stream and read the comments and sort by most recent, because you know all the people are gonna be like, well, 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 Wendigoon. Look who needed that PSA after all. God, only like 4 of you guys are gonna get that reference, but the Creepcast watchers in chat, you'll be able to appreciate it. Anyway, how the turntables. That said, though, if you enjoyed this segment about cyber security, safety, and the prevalence of scammers continuing to be a problem, then please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. Every single thumbs up that you leave on my videos and my streams is totally free, but forces YouTube to push my stuff to more new people in the algorithm, which helps me to grow my channel, which I really do appreciate. It's totally free. It takes half a second, so every thumbs up means a lot, as do the comments as well if you want to double up on the support. Totally free, really do help. If you want to comment something but don't know what to say, comment... Comment Nyan Cat, or Neon Cat, however you pronounce it, because... we're talking about old 2012 memes, you know, with the FPS Russia thing. It's got me thinking about memes from back then, and now I can't stop thinking about Nyan Cat. So, how do you spell it? That's crazy, Winters. If you don't know how to spell Neon Cat, then you need to go look it up. Jesus. You are either very old or very young if you don't know what Neon Cat is. That said, though, Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already so that YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload new videos in the future. And of course, if you want to see more from me on other platforms, you can follow my social medias linked down below in the description, especially my fan Discord, which is the main hub of my community and fan base. And on top of that, I host gaming events, call-in streams, watch parties, and movie nights there every week, such as tonight, where I'll be hosting a Baki watch party while I pump some iron, IRL. And on top of that, I announce all my new uploads and streams there, so even if YouTube bugs out, at the very least you know that my Discord will be a reliable fallback. It'll tell you when I'm active. And of course, you can also follow my other social medias, but especially if you want to support me directly, you can afford it and you feel like it, you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then please consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, Patreon, or buy some custom Xander Hall merch through the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless of how you support me, though, I hope to see you again, and I hope you have a good one.